Hello everyone, welcome to The Green Man. Hope you're doing good and well. So for this weekend's album review, I'm reviewing the biggest release of the weekend, certainly the most talked about release of this weekend. That is Slipknot's 7th studio album, The End So Far, which came out yesterday via Roadrunner Records, and it is 12 tracks and 57 minutes in length. So with this Slipknot album, it feels a bit like they are trying to they're bringing in sounds of their different eras, and sort of it's all kind of rolled into one with this album. And so you have an interesting result for me. I will say, on the whole, I think I like this album. I think I like it. At times you get these longer, more, dare I use the word experimental approach in some of the tracks, or certainly that more expansive sound they've gone for in more recent years. With Slipknot, I have to admit, I do gravitate more towards the really aggressive, raw, kind of uncaring attitudes that they had in early albums like the self-titles and with Iowa. I'm much more likely to enjoy that sort of stuff from Slipknot, for me personally, than the later kind of more expansive stuff they've gone for, but more refined sound. When those longer tracks came on the album, all the sort of more, I guess, experimental stuff, it broke the momentum for me of some of the better tracks on the album, or in my opinion, some of the better tracks on the album. And that, for me, was the album's biggest problem. Because I really liked certain tracks on here, which I'm about to go into, and liked others less. But generally, I think for the most part, I did like this, and I did think it serves quite well as a sort of nod to their previous eras. It's just a bit bloated, and you have those songs, as I say, that break the momentum of the album a bit too much for my taste. But yeah, so just to start off with, this opening track, Adderall, not for me, just not for me. I kind of think it wasn't necessarily a bad song, but a strange choice to open this album with. Why not have opened it with the Dying Song or Chapel Town Rag, for example? Two tracks which I thought were really good ones on the album. Chapel Town Rag in particular reminding me of that uncaring attitude of their first album, that self-titled album, sort of tribal, a bit of those turntables, kind of scratchy sounds that you always had with Slipknot in their early era. And I really enjoyed that one as well. I thought, it was a bit familiar, but it was just a Slipknot song I liked quite a bit. Yen, again, not really one for me. A slightly weird, darker ballad sort of style track on the album. And yeah, it felt a bit long. Didn't quite do enough to keep me interested. So that was less for me, that one. And, after the previous two tracks, it was kind of puzzling again why they felt necessarily that they should put that track there. Warranty, solid track. Medicine for the Dead, good song with a chorus that reminded me actually of a totally different band, really, from Slipknot, Catatonia, Jonas Renkser Catatonia style chorus on Medicine for the Dead, just like the kind of Viva Emptiness kind of era for that song. Acidic, a song which, again, slightly less for me, but I suppose of the songs that I gravitated slightly less towards, it was okay. It sort of had a interesting, slightly industrial approach, sort of kind of alternative rock style almost a little bit with that song. I don't know. Heirloom was a sort of Iowa style track to me. I really liked that one. Very good track on the album. H377, another really good one. And maybe, weirdly, given all I've said, my favourite track on this album, Finale, the last track. Because I thought, despite it being one of those slightly slower tempo ones, I thought it was a good one to finish the album on. I thought it was a well-written song. Memorable Corey vocal on that song, really quite good. So actually I thought the album finished off on a bit of a high with those kind of last tracks. So taken all together, where on earth do I end up with this? And actually, I think, it was just those 3 or 4 longer cuts that felt a bit weird, that I didn't really like, that were the only ones that kind of have affected my overall perception. And so I'm going to give this album a 7.5 out of 10 overall. I think I liked it. It was just a bit bloated for me with some unnecessary stuff thrown in. And I think condensed, this would have been a really good release, actually, and a bit more focus maybe on doing something snappier, a little bit snappier, not sort of completely cut down. But yeah, I would have enjoyed that a little bit more. So for me, this is a 7.5 out of 10. Do let me know in the comments what you thought. Do feel welcome to express whatever you thought about this album. Your favourite tracks, your least favourite tracks. I'd be interested to hear from you. Now, on a related note, I say related note, my Dark Horse disc choice this weekend is going to be the Joey Jordison Project's album, which was called Scar the Martyr, the self-titled Scar the Martyr album from 2013. An album which I think has been, somewhat forgotten about, and I almost, as a sort of, in a way of remembering Joey, I really like that particular album, and I think, it's not necessarily a masterpiece, but it's one I'm going to talk about in my Dark Horse disc video, 8 PM Sunday tomorrow. So do join me for that. Otherwise, from me, take care. Bye for now.